Hello, my name is Jim Gurman and welcome to today's episode of
Kilimanjaro.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bosch PS31 12v cordless drill. They call it actually a drill driver because it's got a little clutch on the front that if you adjust, you can have it clutch out to drive screws, supposedly to keep them at the right height. Doesn't typically, across the board, typically doesn't work all that well, not just on Bosch's, but on other ones. It can be useful so you can clutch it out and make sure you don't overdrive a screw that's particularly small or something like that, but it's not the most useful feature. Most folks, at least myself, I always just lock it back into the drill setting and go with that. Some of the other features of the drill is the typical push button here to switch from reverse to forward. It's got a light on the bottom here to let you see what you're doing. However, with most of the styles with the light underneath here like this, the chuck itself will cause a shadow on to what you're doing, and the light doesn't actually shine right down onto your workpiece. It shines a little bit below it. So it can be useful, but it's not the greatest design. Some of the better tools have it down here or around the chuck itself. That usually lets you have a little more light on actually the tip of the drill or driver that you're using. So this has a 3/8 inch chuck, which is typical for a 12-volt tool. You'd never be able to drive a 1/2 inch drill bit with one of these anyway. It's got a nice power indicator on the side to tell you how much power is in the battery. And it's got a nice rubber coating around the outside in case you're going to drop it, also to help you grip it a little better. The rubber coating will hopefully prevent it from breaking as likely if you're going to drop it. However, there's no rubber coating in the bottom or the chuck, so if you drop it like this, probably be okay, maybe depending on how you drop it from, but if it hits like that, at least the battery is going to be shot. So the typical of most drills in this price range, it has a 2-speed drill drive. If you're going for something that's a particularly big bit that you need the extra power for, you can switch it into the slower speed, which has twice the power. Otherwise, you usually just typically leave it in the 2 setting, which has faster speed to get the job done faster. So if you just go out to Lowe's or whatever big box store you like to pick up this drill, it's going to cost you $130. Don't do that, because for also $130, you can get this nice kit, which includes this drill, the 1/4 inch impact driver that I really like. See a separate review I did of that, as well as the charger and 2 batteries, also for $130. So buying it by itself is a terrible deal. It's actually kind of embarrassment that they sell it by itself for that same price. It's kind of insulting to the consumer. Now, if you wait, you can usually find this kit on sale for $100, or if you're really lucky, you can find it on sale for $80. So I encourage you to hold out to get a good deal on this because it does go on sale fairly frequently. All right, let's take a look at how much power this drill has. So I've got in here a 1-inch spade bit. This is kind of excessive for this size drill, but let's see if it's able to drill a hole with it. So you can see in a regular 2x4, if you don't push too hard, if you take your time, you can drill a 1-inch hole with a spade bit with this little guy. So it has plenty of power, which is something that's really nice, and it's really light, which is great. However, there's a fundamental flaw with this drill. There's 3 parts on the drill that you typically interact with. The first is the grip. It's got a nice grip. The second is the trigger. The trigger feels great. It's the same trigger that's on the impact driver, and it feels really nice. The third one, however, is the downfall of this drill, and that's the chuck. This chuck sucks. There's no other way to put it. When you try to tighten a bit in there, you have to hold this as tight as you can, except it's a smooth plastic with very little indentations on it. So you get no grip on here, and you can barely grab it to tighten it on a bit. So it's really terrible. I wish they had done a different chuck on this. Besides for the chuck, the drill is really nice. However, putting a bit in and out of here every day, it's going to kill your hand as it slips, and you can have a hard time putting a nice tight grip on the bit. These spade bits have a hex shank, so it's easy to put them in, but if you're using a typical twist drill, getting it to be tight enough in there so that the drill doesn't slip is very difficult. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, I'd love to see you subscribe. Otherwise, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see the video I did on the cordless impact driver that comes with this in the kit, I'll leave a link to that down below in the description.